Welcome to New Hampshire Politics with John Burt. I'm John Burt. I want to thank you for joining me today, and today we have a real special guest. Maybe you even recognize her. It's Lisa Wilber. She's been on, you've been on once before.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I have.
Well, thank you for coming on,
Certainly,
Lisa.
sir.
No, I appreciate it. And she's up in Weare. She's running for state representative.
Yes, District 2.
Yeah, and we can say this, you own the Avon store up there.
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
With
and
my mom.
Yeah, and you've done very well with Avon.
Oh, I'm giving my best shot.
Now, you could almost be a Cinderella, couldn't you?
In what aspect?
Well, I mean, you started, you know,
oh, yes.
down
yes.
in the company, and
Yeah.
you worked your way up, and now you're the princess.
Well, I wouldn't go that far. I lived in the trailer park in South Weare for 18 years.
18,
yes,
really?
And now I have a house, I call it the house that Avon built.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Oh.
number 5 in the country right now with Avon.
Is that right?
So, yes.
Wow.
Me and my team do about $8.5 million a year.
Wow.
So.
That's a
It's
lot,
a lot of
Avon.
lipstick, yeah.
Now, is a bad economy or a good economy, do you notice, does Avon?
Yes, you know what's funny? I've done Avon for about 30 years, so I've seen a lot of those cycles go
Yes.
by. I was unprepared this last cycle for what happened because prior times when we've had a recession, we have way more people joining the company. And sales are down, but there's more people.
Oh, selling.
Yes, so it usually evens itself out.
Yes.
This last time that didn't happen. That was unusual.
Huh.
People didn't join to try to earn money. I guess they were all just so stunned they sat home and didn't do anything about their bad situation. I don't know. Yeah, so that was surprising. So sales were down and we didn't have a big uptick in new people. Yeah. That was surprising. So it was different.
Now, in the new Avon book, there's something special about that, isn't there?
Yes.
You want to share with the...
There's only been, I was telling you before we started, this is an Avon brochure, which millions of them every 2 weeks go out. And my picture's in this time. I don't know if you can see that at all, but
Wow.
I have a picture and a quote. Why it's unusual is they've only put Avon representatives in a brochure maybe 4 times ever in the history of ever. They usually use models or spokespeople or something.
Really?
And they usually use, even when they pick an Avon representative, it's usually somebody Barbie-esque. I don't
yeah.
I don't know how to say that any other way.
Yeah.
But I ain't Barbie. So so I was very, very happy to have them choose me for that.
Now, when did you know about it? You know, how long before
no, I
you're...
knew, 3 months probably.
Oh, really? That long? Yeah.
Yeah.
So it takes
Yeah.
that
Well,
long to
big
get it through the
company,
system.
They're a $10 billion company, so
Wow.
when they're talking to you about a story you're in or a media that you're going to be in, you usually know about it months ahead of it happening. Yeah. So, yes.
Yeah, well, that's pretty exciting.
Very nice.
Yeah, well, your mother must have been, you know, and your daughter must have been really, you know, all
Oh,
excited.
no, not Lydia. I've got a 9-year-old, and it's funny because I give these out a lot, and it's a nice thing to open a door opener. When I say, like to a waitress at a restaurant, I'll say, I brought you one of these, and you've probably seen Avon before, but not one with your customer in it. And she's all excited, you know. And Lydia always says, my 9-year-old, she says, Mom, nobody's interested in that but you.
So she is 9? Wow.
Yes.
Well, that's
you
good.
remember when she was born.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I can't believe it was that long ago. Now, so you're still halfway smart with her then. I mean, she still listens to you somewhat. Because I think...
Now you're trying to scare me.
Well, when she turns 13, I think that's when the mom and the dad turns the...
Oh, into villains?
Oh yeah, the dumbest thing ever. You know, I mean, I bet you the viewers, they'll remember all that if they have kids.
Well, you know me. The thing I'm trying to teach her is personal responsibility.
Yeah.
Everything's about personal responsibility. So I like dressing and stuff. I drive my mother crazy because I don't care if she matches as long as she dressed herself.
Yeah.
So you end up with stripes and paisleys and everything, all kind of colors, but she did it herself.
Yeah.
And that's the most important thing.
Yeah.
So, but my mother's like, can't you just make sure she goes out matching? No, sorry, Mom. To me, it's more important that she did it herself.
Yes. Yeah,
So.
yeah, because I think kids are losing that today.
Yes.
You know, they're being coddled too much.
Yeah. And matter of fact, well, you know what's funny? She's at camp right now.
Oh, yeah.
This is the 3rd year at this particular camp.
Yeah.
And she's 9. I went when I was this young, but their camp, the number of people going to their camp is down, and I think it's because people, I don't know, have it in their head they coddle the kids too much.
Yes.
They don't think somebody 6 or 7 could go to camp.
Yeah.
They think it's too far beyond them. When I was going at that age,
Yeah.
I'm all right.
Yeah.
I mean, I messed up like everybody else, but not that bad.
Well, where was it? Down in Florida? I don't recall the story 100%, so don't quote me on it. But, you know, the state just came in, took this kid and charged, you know, the parent with neglect, because I guess the kid was 5 or 6, something like that, walking down the street.
Oh, we used to do that.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, but now the state's coming in saying, oh.
I mean, it would depend. Was the kid naked going down the street or something?
No,
or
I guess he was
just walking down the street.
Yeah, just wandering around.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember going out in the fields. I mean, I lived in rural Vermont, but you know, we'd go out in the fields and.
No, and it's a shame because I think everybody's waiting too late to make them have some responsibility.
Yeah.
Like sleeping over at somebody else's house or going to camp.
Yes.
And then how late you waiting? You know what I mean? Then they're not moving out when they're 18. Then, you know, pretty soon you've got a 40-year-old in your basement watching TV. You know what I mean? I mean, I think you have to. I'm trying to work. It's not my comfort level that I have to consider. It's her ability, trying to get her up and going. But it's not been an easy road.
No.
Last year and the year before at camp when I went to pick her up, the trunk. Because they're in charge of their own trunk for 2 weeks.
Really?
Oh, yes. And last year, we had to drive home with the windows open because it was stunk so bad. Because they put wet clothes and everything in the trunk. But this year, she went to Girl Scout camp and didn't do that because she learned.
Oh, yeah. There you are.
So that's how you,
Yeah. And that does work.
Yeah. But I had to let her do it.
Yeah.
But
Well, I know my stepson, he's really done well over the years. You know, when he first moved out, I was thinking, God help him, please, you know, just stay with him. You know, I didn't know he was going to make it, but he did, and he just let me know because he was partying a little bit too much because they're out on their own. There's this group of boys, and they're all happy in this apartment, and they're like, yoo-hoo, every weekend. Well, come find out, he said for 3 months he was eating ramen noodles almost every night.
Well, yeah, but that's not a bad thing.
No, but he said, John, I hate to say it, but you were right. You know, my suffering taught me a lot.
Yeah.
To put a little money aside, make sure I got money for groceries. But it took him, I think it was 3 months to learn it because he was starving and then he'd get his paycheck so they'd eat. And buy
too much.
Well, they buy beer and then all of a sudden pay their rent and then all of a sudden there comes 4 days of no money and no food in the house.
That's what's going to be hard, I think, as Lydia gets older. Is not to come to her rescue all the time. Yeah. Because I do have more money than the average, you know, person. So then it would be, she's going to think that I should bail her out all the time, and she's going to have to learn how to earn her own money. Yeah. Because I'm not going to live forever.
No. Yeah. Well, I did ask Kevin why he didn't come and see us. I said, Kevin, why didn't you call? You know, we could have helped out a little bit. Nope, I didn't want to hear it from you. You know, because of course, if I help them, they're going to hear a lecture.
Oh, well, yeah, that's a good way to look at it. So make sure she realizes that you're going to get a lecture.
Yeah. So I take my hat off to him because he did. He stuck it out, and now he's happy because he said it taught him a lot. And you know, I know you, Lisa. I think you grew up a lot like me. You know, living in the trailer park, and you know, I grew up very, very poor. You know, those experiences, I think, stay with you for a lifetime,
well,
and it teaches you.
Consequences. I don't know if we're all, and I'm probably just as bad. I think we have to make sure that we do what we say we're going to do. Yes. And mean it. Yeah. So my folks, the whole time growing up, it was funny. They said, if you move out, that's it. You know, if you plan to go to college or stay here, then stay here. If you get married and leave, you don't get to come back. It's not like an open swinging door where you can keep coming back. Yeah. And I believe them. So once I left, I knew I was just on my own, and that was the end of it.
Yeah.
And later, I mean, I went through like sleeping in the car a little while. I mean, I went through some really, really poor before I moved up here. And later my mother's like, why didn't you come home? I said, you told me I couldn't. She says, well, I probably would have let you. I'm glad I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Because it made me figure it out.
Yes.
And I think, you know, that's not a bad thing.
No, no,
You know, the
it's
car
not.
weren't that bad.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't end up doing anything I really regret. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
It didn't get that bad.
Yeah, yeah. No, I remember having some tough times, and you know, but I think those tough times were enjoyable. That I look back now.
I don't know about enjoyable,
Yeah.
but yeah, no, it was interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it makes me appreciate what I get now a lot
Yes.
more.
Yeah, and I think that's a lot of it. Where I see a lot of the kids today, I don't think they appreciate things. You know, they got
Well, it's hard
their
because
smartphones and everything
Lydia's
else.
the same way, and I've got to be so careful about that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? She'll ask me for something, and when you're getting a big check from Avon every 2 weeks, it's hard to say no when someone wants something, and because it seems like a small amount.
Yeah.
But what seems like small to us isn't really that small.
No.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So I have to be careful
Yeah.
because I don't want to spoil her. Not that she isn't,
Yeah.
but she doesn't have any idea that her life is different than
Huh.
everybody. We
Yeah.
just came back from Ireland, and in June we went to Puerto Rico, and earlier
Wow.
this year we went somewhere. I mean, we do so much that she doesn't realize that's unusual.
Yeah.
So
Now I think you need somebody to lug your luggage.
get in line.
Yeah.
A lot of people ask me that.
Yeah. Now you did have just an event up to your up to the
Yes.
store.
And you were so nice to
Yeah.
join in.
Yeah. Well, I was
Yes.
going to mention it as I did want to show you a picture for me in a dunk tank. So hopefully we can put that down and show a picture there.
Yeah, what we did, can I tell you
Yes.
what it was about? This colleague of mine, Sophia Smith, she was diagnosed with ALS, which is Lou Gehrig's disease, probably 3 years ago at least. And last year she passed away.
Wow.
And she was also a senior executive unit leader with a big giant team nationwide. I don't remember meeting her husband before. I maybe met him at an event, but he all of a sudden had this big giant business that he has to run and everything. And he looked like he'd been through the war because ALS is awful to watch.
Yeah.
And he had to watch his wife. You're fine in your head, but your body deteriorates around you and you die that way. It's horrible. So he decided he was going to ride his motorcycle, his Harley, around the entire country and raise money to have a hospice named after her.
Oh.
So he started June 1st. We saw him July 12th.
Yes.
So
yeah.
he'd already been on the road for like 6 weeks.
Wow.
And we had a lot of people there. We raised about 1,000, which isn't a lot, but he was really happy to get there. I saw her write it in his blog later, because when you're doing something like that, you don't necessarily see people you know at every stop.
No.
And a bunch of Sophia's colleagues drove in. I don't know if you knew that part. But
I did.
there were people from, at my level in Avon, from Pennsylvania and New York and Maryland. They all drove in.
Yeah.
So when he got there, we
Wow.
all went out for dinner a few times and stuff. So that was nice to get the support of everybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
So-
He must have been overwhelmed.
Oh, he was so happy to see people he knew.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And I can relate to that. I drove my truck around the country. Did you know that? And did seminars in
Yes.
2001,
Yeah.
before all that other stuff happened. And I know exactly how he felt. I at least had the truck to sleep in, though.
Yeah.
He did that on a Harley without
Wow.
backup. Yeah,
Wow.
I don't know how he did that. He drove around the entire country. He just made it home. It was yesterday, I think.
Wow.
But I don't
Yeah.
think he raised all his money.
Yeah.
I'd said that to you before, but he raised a lot of awareness for ALS.
Yeah, that's good.
And that's, they're not doing a lot of research on it because it doesn't affect so many people.
Oh.
You know what I mean? It doesn't have the high profile like cancer does.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, that was neat. And
Well,
thank you for coming out for that. Yeah, the dunk tank was nice.
Yeah. 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 I had a few people come over and dunk me.
I wanted to.
Yeah.
Here's 20.
Yeah. 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 Well, I think if we had some other reps in there, I think it probably would have turned out a little better, maybe more of a line.
Well, it was funny because I had a couple of people kind of give me a hard time for the date that I had it, because the town was having the parade and stuff.
Yeah.
But truthfully, it wasn't my choosing.
Yeah.
Randy's driving around the entire country. I can't say, you know what, Randy, stop.
Yeah.
And wait a couple of weekends so
Yeah.
I can have it better for everybody
Yeah.
else. So I had to take what I could get.
Yeah. Oh, it was a beautiful day.
Yes.
And I was in the parade.
Yes.
You
Oh,
know,
nice.
we had plenty
so
of
you made
time.
it up.
Yeah.
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 But I was surprised when I did drive into the, use the church parking lot next door, and when I saw all the out-of-state plates, you know, Pennsylvania
Yeah.
and New
That was
York,
nice. A
and
lot of my team
Connecticut.
members. Because that's, with Avon, I have a team nationwide in every state.
Oh, yeah.
So it was a lot of people from my team from out of
Wow.
state. But
And
yeah,
how
we
many
had-
people were in your picture? I saw you had a bucket truck.
oh,
And they
yeah.
went out and took a picture.
Yeah, I love that. Didn't you like that?
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, the gentleman that does the tree work for me,
Yeah.
he had a bucket truck, and his wife said, "Why doesn't he stop when you have the party?" So he went over in the church and
Yeah.
went up in the bucket truck and took it. I didn't count how many people, but it was
Did the
neat.
picture come out good?
Yes,
Oh.
yeah, and it shows my whole house too. I love that.
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's neat.
Yeah. Well, I saw all the Avon tents, so I thought they
Yeah.
were all yours, but I guess people brought them from.
Well, yeah, all my team members.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we had a band. We had the pig roast. That was a.
Yeah, that
and,
was good. I
one
got
of
a
my
little bit of that.
One of my team members was the chef that did that.
Oh.
So, and then they did a poker run on the motorcycles in the morning,
Yeah.
and we had an ice cream truck there. The band.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there was a clown that did balloon twisting.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
There was just about everything. The pig roast thing, I didn't realize what that would look like.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the real pig.
It was, yeah.
and you're
It was a
look-
big hit, but it was like, I'm glad I didn't see it. I saw a picture later of what it looked like the night before.
Oh, yeah.
No,
Yeah.
it
And it was good.
It was good though, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did an excellent job.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. And where's he out of? Is he local?
Pepperell, Mass.
Oh. Oh, really?
So he hadn't done that before. He's worked at restaurants though, and he's an
Ah.
excellent cook.
Yeah.
And I called him because doing an event like that as a business owner, well, you know, when you do something,
Oh, yeah.
I looked in my Rolodex and I said, who do I know that can do what I need?
Yeah.
Matter of fact, that's why I called you for the dunk tank, because
Yeah.
you told me
Yeah.
that you've done that before.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've been in the
Yeah.
dunk tank here in Goffstown.
And I knew Jeff had done the
Yeah.
thing before.
Yeah.
So.
No, I know the kids had a lot more fun than we got dunking, but yeah, once the kids got over there, they kind of forced me out. And,
Yeah.
Can I be in there? And I said, oh, if you're really quick and don't get me
Yeah.
in trouble.
Yeah, we had to go take the water out at the end because they wouldn't leave it alone.
Yeah, there were a few of them were getting pretty waterlogged. Well, I wanted to talk a little bit about July 31st, 2014, Goffstown News. And there's an article in there. And what does it say? Libertarians are not some troublemaking fringe group. And that's your letter.
Yes, it was in reply to an editorial from the paper, the people that run the Goffstown News.
Oh, they put an editorial in.
Yes.
Oh, I didn't see
Oh,
that.
you didn't know that
Oh, I
part?
thought it was by a citizen.
Oh, no. No, they wrote it.
So the
Right, it was
Goffstown
like-
News.
Yes. They wrote it up here.
Ah.
And
And do you want to explain a little bit what it said? You know,
I can give you my interpretation of what it said.
Yes. You know,
Yeah.
and then we can talk about
And-
what your response.
Right, and I quoted from it in my response, but when I first read it, I thought, my first reaction was they couldn't have looked up to see what either the Free State Project is about or what the Libertarian Party is about or what the principles of being a Libertarian are. They just couldn't have looked that up
Yeah.
because they were acting like we were talking about terrorists or something. I mean, it was unbelievable because if there's anything, I think if you had to boil down what libertarians are about, it's they like freedom and personal responsibility. That's
Yeah.
about it. I mean, it's not complicated, and it's
Yeah.
not like we're trying to overthrow somebody.
Yeah.
We want people not to overthrow us. You know?
Yeah, yeah.
That's about it.
Yeah.
So I was surprised that they said stuff like their original thing was about the videotaping of the police
Yes.
stops. And then they said it should be no surprise that Free State Project people were behind that, and they put those libertarian-leaning people, and they made it sound like it was a bad thing. And I wonder if they realize, I mean, we're just their neighbors. We just like liberty and freedom. If that makes us a fringe group, what's everybody else?
Well, so what does the media do when they go record something?
Right. I didn't understand why the Weare police didn't like that anyway. I didn't understand why they didn't just. I'm surprised they never got taped before. How this only happened a couple years ago.
Yeah.
With the with so many people having cell phones that can record.
Yeah.
And all that. How did that not happen before that?
Yeah.
But if I get taped, even if I don't want to, just you know what I mean? Because what choice do you have?
I mean, being a state representative, Lisa, I'll tell you, I see a camera a lot when I'm up at the state house or at events.
I'm surprised a public servant like the police or the fire or whoever it might be wouldn't think that was just part of the drill.
Yeah.
Is possibly being taped.
Well, yeah, I think with the police, I think they don't want to be on the record.
You think they'd want it to protect themselves because there's some nut citizens that say things that didn't happen.
Yeah.
That way it would be not in dispute. You'd have the tape to protect them too.
Well, up in Maine, an officer up there, I'm trying to think, I think it was in Kennebunk, a state police. He just saved a person. You know, an older gentleman was speeding, and all of a sudden, the wife, you know, the policeman was back in the car. He gets out, and the wife's screaming, "Help!"
Oh.
So the cop runs up there, and it's all caught on the video of the police car. And he pulls him out of the car because he says he's having a heart attack.
Wow.
And before you know it, he saved his life.
Wow.
But it's all caught on tape.
Right.
But, you know, anything could happen. And to me, I would think the police would want the tape. You know, like you said, it would protect them from,
I'm surprised.
you know, wrongdoing. Yeah.
And it's funny that even if they didn't like the idea of it, I think they reacted badly.
Yeah.
You know, they could have reacted in a lot of ways other than arresting them.
Yes.
Because all they did was cost the taxpayers of Weare a lot of money.
A lot of money.
So, and then ultimately they didn't end up being right. So.
And you know what's funny now? They're all wearing cameras.
Right.
Only Weare, I believe.
Right, so far.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I think other towns will start following. You know, because the numbers I see, you know, it's like 60–80% reduction in lawsuits, you know, misconduct from police, misconduct from the employee, from the citizens. You know,
that makes sense to me.
It does. You know, if the
and it's not that I'm so wild about being taped, but hopefully it wouldn't come to that because I wouldn't be doing something bad and get pulled over.
Yeah.
So.
But it just protects everybody on every side. No, I think every cop should have it.
I was laughing because I did get pulled over for speeding.
Oh, you
like
did?
2 years ago. I'm on the way to swimming lessons with Lydia, right? So then for the next 3 months after that, every time we got in the car, Lydia would say, "We're going to get pulled over today?" That's what everybody needs is their own 8 or 9 year old.
Yeah.
Because now you said, "You're going over the speed limit." She's like the little speed police in the back.
Well, I got a new GPS, and it tells you what your speed is.
Yeah.
Well, I guess the preset was 5 miles an hour over.
Oh.
Which, of course, I don't do any speeding.
Of course.
Well, I'm going up, you know, what is it, the highway that goes up through Manchester, is it 293, the center?
Yeah.
Well, I think it's listed at 50. I mean, if you do 50, you're going to get run over. I mean, so, you know,
pulled over?
I'm tooling up through there at 60 miles an hour, of course, and cars are still passing me, like I'm sitting there tied to the guardrail, and it's just so funny as, you know, this thing kept going off. Warning, warning. And I'm like, all right, I know, but I can't slow down. People will run me over. You know, so finally I figured out how to reset it. Yeah.
Well, I hope people take the time to read my response and not just the original column, including the editors of the newspaper, because it's what a shame to have that misconception
Yeah.
of what both libertarians and Free State Project people are not big, bad, and fringe people. They just like freedom.
Yeah.
I mean, it's freedom and personal responsibility, neither of which I think are offensive.
No.
In any way.
Well, and lower taxes and.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm confused the way that they wrote the original editorial. I really don't believe that they researched what either one of those things were.
No, I doubt it. Yeah, no, it doesn't look it. And that was on July 31st is your article. And
Yeah,
the
my
17th
response. The 17th was the original.
Was the original.
And you know, I don't write in that much.
Yeah.
Usually maybe once a year because I try to get on the ballot.
Yes, yeah.
And I have to collect petitions. But I wrote right off because I read that and I was like, oh, I would hate to think the general population would think that way.
Yes.
Without even looking and seeing that, you know, we're not some crazy people.
Yeah.
We just,
yeah. Well, I wonder who wrote it.
Personal responsibility. Yeah, they didn't write it. They didn't say who wrote it.
Yeah.
Yeah. What a shame.
Yeah, it is. You know, because that way you can call them out. Well, no, we'll take a break and then we'll come back and talk about you running and the issues that you have to put up with, unlike the Democrat and the Republican side, you know, that we don't have to put up with. And we'll be right back in a couple minutes. Hold on. Welcome back to New Hampshire Politics with John Burt, and I'm talking with Lisa Wilber, and she's the Avon lady up in Weare, and she's also running for state representative up in Weare and Deering.
Weare and Deering, District
Yes,
2.
yes. And remember, I'm running for District 39, which is the floater seat this time, which is Goffstown, Weare, and Deering. So if you have some friends up in any of those three towns, make sure you spread the word.
That was New England, wasn't it? Deering.
Yes, yeah, that is.
Just drop the G.
Yeah.
Out there in Deering.
Yeah. No, I've always dropped my G's. As a matter of fact, I take Toastmasters and they tried to fix it.
Oh.
You know, but then a bunch of my friends says, no, don't fix that. That's you, John. And it's like,
I don't drop the G's. It's R's that I don't do. You know, mother, father, sister, brother.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, one thing I have the luxury of doing, being I'm really a conservative, but I'm on the Republican ticket, as I tell everybody, is I go to the town clerk and I give her $2.
Yes, isn't that nice? Because
and I fill out a paper and I go home and I got the rest of the day off.
Well, and it makes me love the Republicans and Democrats all the more because over the past, both parties that have been in control have passed laws to make it harder and harder for a third party to get on the ticket.
Really?
And I think it's a shame, really, because you think by now they'd want a few new ideas. Since neither party's really doing that well right now.
No, they aren't. No, both parties are responsible for the mess we're in.
Yeah, this is my 8th run.
But how does it hold up in court that you have to jump through hoops, and you'll explain what those hoops are.
Right.
And I don't, and Democrats don't have to.
Because the Democrats and Republicans passed laws to make it so. It would kind of be like me passing a law to make it hard to be a Mary Kay distributor, if you ask me. The people in control pass laws so the people not in control won't ever get in control.
But where's the equality here?
It's not just equality in my mind. It's like you think they would want some new ideas, or the argument I've heard is if we just let anybody on the ballot, everybody will be signing up. I don't think so. For one thing, don't pay.
No, and that's the way I want to keep it.
Right, that's fine. But I mean, that is not an easy job to do.
Nope.
Not everybody wants it.
Nope.
So, I mean, I think that's not a good argument, is that if they just let anybody get on the ballot, anybody would.
Yeah. Now,
I mean,
so you run as a libertarian.
Yes, and truthfully, how I decided to be a libertarian was, I thought in my little naive brain was that how you decided what party that you were going to be part of is you looked up the party platforms of all the parties, not just the two.
Yes.
But I mean, there was like the Green Party, and there's like a whole bunch of parties, the Constitution Party, and the Libertarian Party. I looked them all up, and I wrote down my own values and went, which am I most like? And I went, and Libertarian happened to be the best fit.
Yeah.
That's why I'm a Libertarian. And their party platform now still meets my values the best.
Yes, yeah.
So, I mean, you know me as a person.
Yep.
Wouldn't you say that's true?
Yeah, I would, yeah.
So, it's funny that over these years that I've run as a libertarian, I've had to do things like I just turned in 170 nomination papers that I have to get filled out and certified by the town supervisors of the checklist.
So they have to be voters of Weare or Deering.
Registered voters.
Registered of Weare or Deering.
Of Weare or Deering, and
to get you
the
on
supervisors of the checklist check to make sure that they're registered voters and that their signature looks enough like the signature on the paper.
Yeah.
Or they disallow them.
Yeah.
Now, the last couple cycles, because this is my 8th time running, the last couple cycles, they have not been as bad about throwing them out. But there was one cycle a few times back.
Yeah, they threw my name out.
I remember they threw Doug Cook out, who was the selectman at the time, and he was in the building. And that actually irritated me because I said to them, they said, we're throwing this one out. I said, he's here in the building. Let's go ask him. Because if you're throwing it out for signature, that's like saying I did it. You're like acting like I'm making these up. Let's go ask him. And they wouldn't let me.
Really?
So it's almost like saying I'm a forger and they wouldn't let me defend myself. But the last few cycles, they've mostly kicked them for not being registered voters, which is understandable.
Yes, yeah.
So I have a 20 cushion, though, because I have no idea.
Yeah.
And I have to get 150 to just have my name on.
Now, have they been certified, the 100 and...
I just turned them in today.
Oh, you did?
So they're going to be certifying them, and they get back to me. And I had to go to the State House to pay my $2. You got to go to the town hall.
Well, why can't you pay it at the town hall?
Because of the Republicans and the Democrats.
Well, what happens if you lived up in, Colebrook?
No, I still believe you have to go to the State House to... They know me there by now. It's nice.
Yeah, yeah.
Says, oh, hi, how are you?
Well, this is number 8?
Number 8.
Yeah.
I started running in 2000.
Yeah.
And matter of fact, you know why I started running the first time?
No.
I don't know if you know this. The sign. The original big sign that was on my lawn.
Yeah.
The state came through and told us all we had to take them down. And me and my mother decided we weren't going to go down without a fight. So we wrote on the sign, Big Brother State of New Hampshire making me move my sign. And we got in a big fight with them over it, but ultimately the sign had to be moved. Yeah. But a customer came in and said, you know what, you ought to run for state rep and use the sign as your issue. And I thought, perfect, that's fine with me, because I was in disbelief that they would tell me my sign was a safety hazard when my wooden sign was here, and here is a concrete monument. You know, and they didn't move it. Matter of fact, when we had that big town hall meeting, they said, does anybody have any questions? I'm like, oh, me, I got a question. And I said, when are you coming to move the monument? That was my question. And like, of course, 10 minutes later, that was when Carol Murray was the head of the DOT. 10 minutes later, they all talked, and I said, what did you just say? Because
Yeah.
but no date. I didn't see any date in this.
Yeah.
So the
that's
monument's
what they
still
do.
there. But I've run every year, and once I heard about the requirements that they made us jump through all those hoops, that upset me bad enough that I'm going to keep running as a libertarian. And I've been surprised at how many Republicans have said, you know, you'd get elected faster if you ran as a Republican.
Yeah, a lot of them, yeah.
And I said, you know what, I'd get a car loan faster if I told the bank I was a man. What's your point? You know what I mean? I can't tell people I'm something I'm not. I just can't do it.
Yeah.
So a lot of people in my own party told me I'm naive. Then I'll be naive and sleep at night, thank you.
Yes, yeah.
At least I have some integrity.
Well, that's it. I respect you more for sticking to your guns.
Yeah, I don't know. It just doesn't seem right to go tell people whatever they want to hear just so they'll vote for me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? At least if I say I'm a libertarian, I'm willing to go out and do the work to get on the ticket as a libertarian.
Yes.
They can look up the party position and know that that's what I believe in. And if they like it, they can vote for me. If they don't have to.
Yeah.
At least they know what I stand for. You know what I mean? If I'm just doing what's expedient, sign up with anybody who's going to...
Well, and the thing is that there's a lot of, you know, and I think it's more Democrats jump on the Republican ticket.
Why do you think they do that? Because...
I think they're willing to. See, if...
I mean, they believe that being a Republican will
like
get
in
you voted.
Goffstown.
Oh, okay. In a mainly Republican town,
yes,
it's better to get on the ticket, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
And you know, to tell the viewers real quick, I am going to be talking about next week's show. I am going to bring up 2 candidates that are running on the Republican ticket that are not Republicans. They are Democrats, and you know, it irritates me that they're over here. And they should stay true. And I mean, you know, we have the rhinos, we call them. Mm-hmm. You know, and the voters booted one out here in town. You know, because his vote was not what they wanted, and that is what they should do. You know, that is the process.
Well, and voters, please,
Yeah.
look at the candidates and their position on things, not just vote party line just because
Absolutely.
You're in the party, because people can't evidently be trusted to say who they are.
Yeah, yeah, no, they can't. Yeah, yeah.
As much as I'd love to believe that they would, but I am who I say I am, at least.
Yes, yeah, yeah. And yeah, I mean, I've always, you know, right from day one, you know, Ronald Reagan was my first president, and so, you know, I jumped on the Republican side, but, you know, where I grew up, that's all there was at one time.
Hey, you know what I'm counting on to get it, by the way, is persistence.
Yes. Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's worked for my other business.
Yeah.
I'm thinking I'll outlast them. At, you know, 8 cycles in, I've been running since 2000, so every 2 years since 2000. I'm thinking they're going to see me on the ballot after a while and go, you know what? Just give it to her.
Yeah.
She wants it that bad, just vote her in.
Yeah.
See, that's what I'm counting on.
Now, do you do like a mail-in and all that to get your information
I don't
out?
usually do a mailing, but I do letters to the editor. I also have signs.
Yeah.
I got the best signs.
Yes, you do.
Which this year I'm going to have to alter because the old district had Goffstown in it. So now I have to take Goffstown off my signs. So.
Nobody will notice.
I don't think I'll count on that.
Well, you know, and one of the reasons is because I'm cheap. But my fancy, you can get one of these when you become a state rep, this fancy badge.
Oh, nice.
But see, it says Weare on it, Goffstown Weare.
Oh, yeah, and it's not gonna.
Well, in my first term, 2006, I didn't even run then, 2010, if I can say it right, it was Goffstown Weare, and then they redistricted to
we've
just
had
Goffstown.
that happen a few times. That's why the signs are wrong, my signs are
Yeah.
wrong, because I've bought them once way back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
and
that's
I
what everybody
reuse them
said.
over and
So,
over.
well, last term I was just Goffstown, and everybody says, John, it says Weare. I said, I'm not spending $15 to get a new badge. I said, this one's still shiny. No, and now I don't know what to do, because if when I win, I'll be Goffstown, Weare and Deering.
When?
Yeah, that's right.
Very nice, very nice.
Yeah, I am going to win. Especially once, because who's running against me is your old town clerk.
Oh, yes.
She has a big name up there.
Matter of fact, I was stunned when I found out she was a Democrat because the town, I think, Weare is primarily Republican.
It is Republican.
And I'm not sure that most of the people realize that she was a Democrat.
No, but I talked to a lot of the Republicans up there because when I ran in 10, for some reason, Weare just fell in love with me. I mean, I got a lot of support up there, so I'm very, very happy, with the voters up there. I mean, they just, because I think they resonate with me, and I think I do what they want me to do. And same way in Goffstown, that's how I won the 2. But they voted for her because she was the old town clerk. I mean, she beat everybody.
Name recognition.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what I told everybody, I said, well, you do know she voted for the gas tax, the Medicaid, and all these other taxes, and plus she voted for the 5 anti-gun bills.
Right.
Well, they're telling me it's a death, kiss of death up in Weare and Deering if you vote for a gun bill.
I just hope that more voters look at the voting records and their position on the issues rather than just the party or just the name recognition, because it does seem like name recognition wins the day, which and evidently it doesn't even matter if it's, because I used to think that everybody was voting straight ticket because they all were Republican, but then when Evelyn got it, it had to be name recognition because I know all those people weren't Democrats because the town isn't primarily Democrats.
No, I know a lot.
It's very Republican.
I know a lot of Republicans.
So
that
I was
voted
surprised,
for her.
right?
Yeah, they voted for her, figuring, but now that they know her voting record, they're like, they're not happy.
No, and I like her as a person.
She seems like a nice lady.
I was surprised the people in town didn't realize, how she would vote.
Well, I remember in 10 going up there and renting the town hall.
Oh yeah.
And other events that I did up there. She was real nice.
Oh yeah, no, I've known her for years.
But it's just sad that she thinks big government is the way to do it.
Oh, I don't know if she thinks, but I mean, I know that she's not necessarily in the majority, because that town is Republican. There's no way around that.
Yeah.
Where's Republican?
Yeah.
So I was just surprised that.
But see, like if I was over in Henniker, they say you can't get elected dog catcher if you're a Republican over there.
Really?
Yeah, that's what I heard. I think it was Henniker.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Is that on the? I think.
Why is it? Because it's a college town?
I'm not sure.
What's the reason for that?
I think that's Henniker. The one on the highway.
They're in. Henniker's on the highway.
Yes,
they're
that's the
in.
one.
They're in our regional high school. Henniker.
Oh.
Henniker's in John Stark.
Yeah. No, they say they're like. Over the
really?
cliff. But I could never say, all right, I'm going to run as a Democrat to get on the ticket.
No, see, I can't do that either. I'm surprised the people that can, or the people that say to me, look me right in the eye and tell me I'm naive by sticking to my principles.
Yeah.
I find that disturbing. To me, that lowers my opinion of them, and I don't want it to.
Yes.
Because like a couple people that have said it to me, I like them as people. But it lowered my opinion of them when they said, we think you're naive for having integrity, basically. Yeah. And it's like, I found that a little hard to,
No, but you get it all the time, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, there's a part of me that wants you up there. So,
well,
so how do we?
It would be a lonesome job, I think, if I was the only one in the Libertarians that got elected. But to me,
well, there's a lot of Libertarians up there.
Right,
but they run under the Republican name traditionally. But there are a few Republicans. It's so funny because when the Democrats vote, I don't know how they do it. They brainwash them, but they all vote identical.
Oh,
where the Republicans, we'll split off. I mean, we don't get along. With ourselves. We're always fighting inside, beating ourselves up. And, I vote against this Republican. It's like, get out of here. I'm going to vote this way. But the Democrats are very lockstep. And it's funny is there's one out of Nashua. And, I know he's a Libertarian because you can just tell by his vote. So when he's not voting with, the
so he ran as a Democrat
to win because
Nash was more.
Yeah.
See, I don't know. I just can't reconcile that in my head.
Yeah.
I just can't. It would be like me going around telling people I'm a man. To me, that would be the same thing.
Yeah.
I just don't understand it, I guess.
Yeah, yeah, it doesn't make any
I'm
sense.
too naive to understand that concept, I guess.
Yeah, yeah.
But I don't know.
But you've done well vote-wise.
Oh yeah, I've not done bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it will build over time. I still think if I run every 2 years, I'm bound to get it eventually. I mean, to me, the odds of me being number 5 in the country coming from Weare, New Hampshire, and Avon.
Yeah.
How is it any more outrageous than that?
Yeah.
That's outrageous.
Yeah.
If you think about it.
Yeah.
There are, what, 500,000 Avon representatives in the country?
Wow.
I'm number 5. That's outrageous. There's no way around it. That is outrageous.
Yes.
So putting myself in the position where I would be an elected third-party person in the state, that doesn't seem that outrageous to me because this is so outrageous. You know what I mean? I still think that's possible.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So that's how I got to be 5, is because I thought that was possible.
Yeah.
So to me, I'm not willing to change just to fit what everybody thinks I should be to get elected.
Yeah.
It probably would have been faster, but that...
Yeah.
there was a lot of stuff I wouldn't do in my business, same thing.
Yeah.
I had competitors of mine, that's why I'm not number 1.
Yeah, yeah.
I've had competitors of mine tell me shortcuts to take, and I wouldn't do it because I have to sleep with myself at night.
Yeah.
You know, to me that's more important.
Well, I just found out that I guess there's this group that studies every state representative in the country.
Oh.
In New Hampshire, I came in and they have classifications like who's the most to the left and who's the most to the right, you know, conservative and the...
Are you way off to the right?
Well, yeah, and then who gets the most bills passed in each party, and they have a whole bunch of criteria.
Oh, nice.
Well, I did come in number 2
nice.
on the most conservative.
Nice,
So,
nice.
well, my first, when Dan McGuire, state rep, told me that, I was like, well, who's number 1? He's got to go. You know, I don't want to be number 2.
Did you see my post today? I answered one of those candidate questionnaires that says the 3 things that you find need the most work, or no, is it cause the most trouble or need the most work?
Oh, yeah.
In New Hampshire, I said, yeah, the Republicans, the Democrats, and apathy.
Yeah, yeah. But we're getting close to the end, and I did want to talk real brief about the movie America. I don't know if you've seen that.
Not yet. I'm anxious to hear about it. Tell me about it.
You gotta see this. At first, when I went in and saw the movie, and it's America, the movie, you know, look it up wherever it's playing. I had to go up in Concord, but hopefully, you know, the local movies theaters are showing it now. At first, it was beating up America, and I'm Mr. America. I mean, you know, America to me is everything. You know, I know we have freedoms, you know, even though sometimes it doesn't feel it. And, you know, I mean, America is the best country still. But at first in the movie, they're like beating America up, and I'm going, all right, I'm in the wrong movie. You know, I shouldn't be watching this. And then all of a sudden, they explain what would happen if America wasn't here. And they removed Mount Rushmore and, you know, the Statue of Liberty. And they showed George Washington getting shot by a sniper. And they said, if that happened, you know, if he got shot by a sniper, this is what would happen. And I mean, I won't ruin it, you know, for everybody, but you gotta go see the movie America. It's just incredible.
Yeah, I'll look it up. Yeah, it's I'll go look for it.
Yeah. I just saw it probably a week ago. And
I don't often go to the movies on my own.
Yeah.
Is it child friendly? Not really.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. There was a bunch of kids in there.
I end up watching, of course, Frozen or something like that.
Yeah. No, there was a lot of kids in there.
Good.
You know, I mean, they were at least 9 and above. Nobody under that, I bet.
Nice.
Yeah. But you know, your daughter's, you know, I think pretty advanced.
Yeah, I'd be interested to see it. Yeah, she probably would too.
No, yeah, it would be. And I know your mother goes with her grandson a lot to the movies, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I met him finally.
Yes. Oh, did you?
Yeah.
I'm surprised you like either one. Did you know they went out and campaigned for Barack Obama? I knew you'd like that.
But not your mother.
Surprised. No, but she went with with Mike when he was doing it to the rallies and stuff. But I think. Isn't that true though? Like the young people are always Democrats, and then in the middle you're Republican. At the end you're a Democrat again.
Yeah.
But I think that's probably more like.
Yeah. Well, once they start earning money.
Yeah.
then they realize, hey, no, I think I'm a conservative. Stop
Yeah,
spending
really.
my money.
Well, that's a lot to do with my position too. I don't like people taking the money
Yes.
by force
Yeah.
that I work so hard to earn.
Yeah, that's right.
I want it myself to decide how I'm going to spend it.
Yeah, that's right. Well, Lisa, I just want to thank you for coming on.
Thank you.
And, I really had a good time.
Thank you.
But, all right. And, again, we're talking with Lisa Wilber. She's running for state representative up here in Weare and Deering. And make sure you get the votes out there and tell everybody. And also next week I will be talking about the July 31st, 2014 letter to the editors. There's a couple in there that I want to talk about. And we just didn't get time today, but I'll bring them up next week. All right, until next time, have a good week. Bye now.